Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Podcast Zone. This is episode 16, and today we're diving into a very practical and powerful topic, making a presentation. Whether you're a student preparing for class, a professional speaking at work, or someone who simply wants to express ideas with clarity, this episode is for you.
That's right. Presentations are a huge part of modern life. From PowerPoint slides in offices to pitching ideas in classrooms, even to online webinars and Zoom calls, presentations are everywhere. And let's be honest, many people find them scary.
Oh, yes. Public speaking is often listed as one of the world's biggest fears. Some people even say they'd rather wrestle a crocodile than speak in front of an audience.
That laughs. And yet, it doesn't have to be so frightening. If you understand the structure, learn the key phrases, and practice some techniques, making a presentation can actually become fun and a great way to shine.
Exactly. So in today's episode, we're going to break it down step by step. We'll share real-life stories, practice useful English vocabulary and expressions, and even simulate a live presentation. By the end, you'll feel more confident about presenting in English.
So grab a notebook if you want, relax, and let's get started.
Daniel, do you remember your very first presentation?
Oh, yes. I remember it very clearly. It was in high school. I had to present a science project about renewable energy. I was so nervous that my hands were shaking. I read every single word from my paper and never looked at the audience.
That sounds familiar. My first presentation was in college. I had to present about Shakespeare, and my English was not as strong back then. I was terrified. My voice was very low, and I kept saying, After the class, my professor said, "Sarah, your content was good, but you need to work on your delivery."
Yes, that's the key. Many people focus only on content, the slides, the facts, the information, but they forget about delivery, how you speak, how you move, and how you connect with the audience.
Right, and that's one of the main goals of this episode, to help our listeners improve both content and delivery. Before we go deeper, let's introduce some useful English vocabulary related to presentations. We'll say the word, explain it, and sometimes use it in a sentence. Audience, the group of people listening to your presentation. Example, always make eye contact with your audience. Slides, the visual pages in a PowerPoint or keynote presentation. Example, let's move to the next slide. Introduction, the beginning of the presentation where you greet people and explain your topic. Example, in my introduction, I will explain why this topic is important. Body, the main part of the presentation where you share information, evidence, and examples. Example, the body of my presentation has 3 key points. Conclusion, the final part where you summarize and give closing thoughts. Example, in conclusion, renewable energy is the future. Visual aids, pictures, charts, graphs, or props that help explain ideas. Example, visual aids make your message clearer. Stage fright, the nervous feeling before speaking in front of people. Example, she had stage fright before her big presentation. Q&A session, a time at the end of the presentation when the audience can ask questions. Example, I'll answer your questions during the Q&A session. These words are like the building blocks. If you know them, you can follow presentation discussions more easily. And later in the episode, we'll also cover some useful phrases like, let's begin, as you can see from this chart, and to sum up. Daniel, why do you think learning to make a good presentation in English is so important?
Because English is often the international language of business, science, and education. Imagine you're at an international conference. If you can present your ideas confidently in English, you can reach people from all over the world.
That's true. Also, presentations are not only for big conferences. Even in small meetings, you might need to explain your ideas.
A short presentation could help you get a promotion, convince a client, or win a scholarship.
And presentations show more than knowledge. They show communication skills, confidence, and leadership. People don't just remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel.
Exactly. And for learners of English, giving a presentation is a fantastic way to practice. You learn vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and you also develop courage.
All right, Daniel. So let's dive into the real work. Imagine one of our listeners has just been told, next week, you have to give a presentation in English. What's the very first thing they should do?
Good question. The very first step is preparation. Don't panic. Don't start designing slides right away. First, you need to understand your purpose. Ask yourself, why am I giving this presentation?
Yes, purpose comes first. Is it to inform people? Is it to persuade them? Maybe to teach or simply to share research?
Exactly. For example, if you're a student, maybe your purpose is to explain your research findings. If you're in business, maybe you're trying to convince clients to choose your company. The purpose will shape everything, your words, your visuals, even your body language.
And after identifying your purpose, step 2 is knowing your audience. Who are they? Are they teachers, classmates, managers, or international colleagues?
Right, because the way you present to university classmates is very different from the way you present to company executives. For classmates, you might be casual. Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about social media trends. For executives, you'll be more formal. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
So preparation is purpose plus audience. And then comes research and content. Collect your material, read articles, gather statistics, prepare examples, and write down your main points.
But here's a golden rule. Less is more. Don't overload your presentation with too many facts. People remember stories, examples, and simple numbers. If you give them 25 statistics, they'll forget most. If you tell them one story, they'll remember it.
Let's now talk about structure. A good presentation is like a good sandwich. It has 3 main parts: introduction, body, and conclusion.
Exactly. Let's go through them one by one. 1. Introduction. Greet your audience. Introduce yourself. Introduce your topic. Explain why it matters. Give a quick map. Today, I'll talk about 3 things. For example, good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel. Today, I'm going to talk about renewable energy. This topic is important because our planet faces climate change. In my presentation, I'll cover 3 main points: the current problems, the benefits of renewable energy, and possible solutions.
See how clear that is? Short, simple, but powerful. The body is the main content, divided into 2 to 4 key points. Not 10 points, not 15 points. Keep it digestible.
And connect your points with signposting phrases. These are little guide words that help the audience follow you. For example, first, let's look at now, moving on to the second point. Finally, let's consider.
Yes, signposting is like road signs. Without them, the audience gets lost.
The conclusion is your chance to leave a strong impression. Summarize the key points, restate why the topic is important, and end with a call to action or a memorable quote.
For example, to sum up, renewable energy is not just an option, it's a necessity. We have the technology, we have the knowledge, and now we need the will. Together, we can build a cleaner future.
That's short but impactful. Notice she didn't add new information at the end. She just wrapped it up. Let's talk about visuals, slides, charts, images. A lot of learners think, if I make beautiful slides, my presentation will be good. But that's not true, right?
Right. Slides are just a tool. The presentation is you, the speaker. Slides should support your message, not replace it.
Exactly. Here are some tips for visuals. Don't put too much text. Use keywords, not paragraphs. Use high-quality images. Keep colors simple and easy to read. Use graphs or charts for numbers. One idea per slide.
I'll give an example. Imagine you're talking about smartphone use. Instead of writing, many people around the world spend 4 to 6 hours daily on their smartphone for social media, games, and communication, you can simply put a slide with a picture of a phone and the number 5 hours. That's enough. You say the rest with your voice.
Brilliant, because the audience should be listening to you, not reading long paragraphs on the slide.
And another thing, always check your visuals on the actual screen before the presentation. Sometimes fonts look too small or colors disappear on a projector.
Oh yes, I've seen slides that looked fine on a laptop, but in the classroom, the audience couldn't read them. Always test first. Let's give our listeners a small exercise. Suppose your topic is the importance of exercise. Take 1 minute to think, how would you introduce yourself? What 3 main points would you choose? What would be your conclusion?
Yes, pause the podcast if you want. Write down introduction, greeting plus topic plus why it matters, body, 3 short points, conclusion, summary plus message.
This kind of practice will make you more confident when the real day comes.
So Daniel, we've talked about preparation, structure, and visuals, but let's be honest, even if you prepare perfectly, when you stand in front of people, your body can betray you.
That's true. Sweaty hands, shaky knees, dry mouth, classic signs of nervousness. That's why body language and voice are so important. They help you look confident, even if inside you're nervous.
Let's start with body language. When you stand in front of your audience, what should you do?
Rule number 1, stand tall. Don't slouch, don't hide behind the podium. Imagine a string pulling you upward.
Yes, standing tall makes you look confident, and keep your feet planted firmly, not dancing around nervously.
Rule number 2, eye contact. Look at the audience, not just your notes. If the audience is big, scan the room slowly. Pick 3 or 4 people in different spots and look at them in turn.
And smile. A natural smile relaxes the audience and makes them trust you.
Exactly. And gestures. Use your hands to emphasize key points. For example, when you say 3 reasons, show 3 fingers. When you talk about something big, spread your arms. But don't overdo it, or it looks artificial.
Right, and never cross your arms. It makes you look closed or defensive.
So to summarize, stand tall, use eye contact, smile, use natural gestures.
Now, let's talk about the voice. Daniel, what's the most common mistake people make with their voice?
Speaking too fast. Nerves make people rush. The audience can't follow.
Yes, and sometimes people speak too softly. In English, you need to project your voice. That doesn't mean shouting. It means speaking from your chest with energy.
And vary your tone. Don't be flat. If you speak in the same tone for 10 minutes, the audience will fall asleep. Use emphasis, stress, and pauses.
Pauses are powerful. After making an important point, stop. Let the silence sink in. The audience will process your words.
Exactly. For example, if I say climate change is real, pause. And it is happening now. The pause adds weight.
Brilliant example. So pace, volume, tone, and pauses. That's the recipe for a strong presentation voice.
Okay, now let's face the elephant in the room. Nervousness. Most people feel anxious before presenting. What can they do?
First, remember, nerves are normal. Even professional speakers get nervous. The difference is they know how to manage it.
Yes, one technique is deep breathing. Before you start, take a slow breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. It calms your body.
Another technique is positive visualization. Imagine yourself speaking clearly, the audience smiling, clapping at the end. Your brain believes what you imagine.
I love that. And here's a trick I use. Reframe the feeling. Instead of saying, I'm nervous, say, I'm excited.
because nervousness and excitement feel similar in the body.
That's powerful. Also, practice, practice, practice. The more you rehearse, the more comfortable you'll be. Record yourself, present to a friend, or even to the mirror.
And remember, the audience wants you to succeed. They are not your enemies. Most people admire the courage it takes to speak. Okay, time for something very practical. Let's give our listeners a list of useful phrases they can use in English presentations.
Yes, let's break them into sections. A. Starting the presentation. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Let me introduce myself. My name is... Today I'm going to talk about... The purpose of this presentation is to... B. Moving between points. First of all, let's look at... Now let's move on to... Another important point is... Finally, let's consider... C. Referring to visuals. As you can see from this chart, this slide shows... If we look at this image, we can understand... D. Emphasizing key ideas. What I'd like to highlight is... It's important to note that the key takeaway here is... E. Ending the presentation. To sum up, in conclusion, thank you very much for your attention. Now I'd be happy to answer any questions.
That's a fantastic toolkit. Learners can practice these phrases until they come naturally.
Exactly, and here's the tip. Don't memorize your whole script word for word. Instead, memorize these phrases. They are flexible. You can adapt them to any topic.
So, in this section, we covered body language, voice, handling nervousness, and useful phrases. That's a lot of practical advice.
Yes, and in the next part, we'll make it even more real. We'll do a role play. One of us will pretend to prepare for a presentation, and the other will coach. That way, our listeners can see how everything works in action.
That sounds exciting.
Okay, listeners, it's time for a role play. Daniel, let's imagine you are a student who has to give a short presentation in English. I'll be your audience and coach. Ready?
Yeah, I think so. Let's pretend my topic is the benefits of reading books.
Perfect. Go ahead and give us a mini presentation. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Daniel, and today I want to talk about the benefits of reading books. There are 3 main benefits. First, reading improves knowledge. Every book you read teaches you something new. Second, reading develops imagination. When you read stories, you create pictures in your mind. It's like a movie in your head. Finally, reading reduces stress. After a long day, opening a book can relax your mind much better than scrolling on your phone. So, to sum up, reading books is good for knowledge, imagination, and relaxation. I encourage everyone to read at least 20 minutes a day. Thank you for listening. That was very good, Daniel. Clear, simple, and structured. You use an introduction, 3 main points, and a conclusion. That's excellent.
Thank you. But I felt a little nervous, and I think I spoke too quickly.
Yes, you did speed up a little. Remember to slow down and use pauses. For example, after you say there are 3 main benefits, pause for 2 seconds. That creates curiosity.
Good point.
Also, you can add a personal story to connect with the audience. For example, when I was a child, reading Harry Potter helped me fall in love with English. A story makes your presentation more memorable.
Ah, yes, people love stories. I should include that next time.
Exactly. And finally, don't forget eye contact. Look at different parts of the audience, not just one spot.
Got it. Thanks for the coaching.
So, dear listeners, today we've taken a full journey through the art of making a presentation in English. We started with preparation and structure, then explored body language, voice, and how to manage nerves. We practiced useful phrases, and we even did a live role play to show you how it works. Remember, Making a presentation is not about being perfect. It's about being clear, confident, and authentic. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. So go ahead, take these tips, and the next time you're asked to present in English, step forward with courage. Your voice matters, your ideas matter, and you are capable of delivering them with impact. Thank you for joining us on the English Podcast Zone. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep shining.